Day in this country. They went down to 24 below zero. They're already at 18 below at this point. Mansfield, January 20th was at 22 below. Youngstown on the 2021 there of 1985, 20 below. Here in Cleveland, 19 below zero. January 24th, 1963. During that cold time in 85, we didn't quite make it, although we should be there tomorrow morning in Cleveland and rewrite the record books. Wind chill at 41 here, minus 41, minus 41 Erie. There you see the minus 56 at Toledo and Findlay, minus 49 at Port Columbus International Airport, minus 57 at Mansfield, minus 21 at Cincinnati. The winds have tamed down a little bit along the Ohio River. And here are the latest official numbers now. 14 below here in Cleveland at Hopkins, 15 below downtown, 18 below at Akron, Canton. So many belows, that's difficult to say one after the other. 17 below at Mansfield and Findlay, 22 below. They are the leaders now in the Cold Air Clubhouse down at Dayton. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they didn't check in at about 28 below by tomorrow morning. 16 below Cincinnati, 10 below Huntington, a 13 below zero reading at Marietta. Again, those are the actual temperatures. Those are not the wind chills. We gave you those on the previous page. Here's the satellite picture. Now I'm going to put the clouds in motion here. You'll be able to see the Arctic dome of high pressure that encompasses the Great Lakes, stretching all the way down into Dixie. And you can see that swath of cloud cover running down through Florida. Heavy rains around Fort Lauderdale today. The rains have now faded away. A few snow showers are left around the Great Lakes. It was 2 today in St. Louis. The high at Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities, was 16 below. Wind chills there today were around 65 below zero. The high 11 below at Marquette, Michigan, 12 below Bismarck, North Dakota. The warm air is out here. As you can see, Arizona today, 77 at Scottsdale. It was 82 in L.A. The cold air dipping all the way down through Texas tonight. Zero readings are in the forecast for Atlanta tonight. Brutally cold there. The minus figures through the Tennessee Valley. And there you see the brutal air that is around the Great Lakes, stretching all the way up. And once again, the wind chill index reading in Cleveland, Hopkins International, stands at 41 below zero. And that is cold. Here's our forecast now as we head into the 19th of January. And I am sure that we'll rewrite the record books at most reporting stations in Ohio. We could have a squall east of the city. Now, you saw the video we showed you at the top of the show. The interstate roads in Cleveland are very, very slippery. The problem we have, the salt crews are out there, city and state crews. Salt simply does not work when it's this cold. We have an icing condition on the bridges that is causing tremendous amounts of accidents all over the place. Now, here's the temperature range, 20 below to 25 below here. Northwest Ohio, you could be close to 30 below up by Maumee and Toledo tomorrow morning. Obviously, the entire state is under a wind chill warning. Our wind chill index readings could be as cold as 60 below in the northwestern part of the state, around 50 below here. Tomorrow our high is going to be 2. Wind chill index readings again well below zero. Tomorrow night we're going down to 5 below, but you're going to see the temperature rising and a chance of snow will develop, and that will be by Thursday morning. And then look at Thursday, a heat wave, 14 degrees, partly sunny after some morning snow. On Friday, sunny and 22. Now here's where we turn things around. Saturday, partly sunny and 34. More sun on Sunday, and we should see 41 degrees, and that would qualify in part as a much-deserved January thaw. The TV8 weather line is 8810880. We've had hundreds of calls from you tonight saying, hey, we're not hearing the minus figure on the weather line. We're aware of that. We called the company in St. Louis. They are FedExing a brand new chip card in so we can get the minus figure on the weather line. But the forecast, of course, we update that all the time. So the forecast is accurate. The actual temperature will not show a minus figure until probably 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And the best thing to know is that it's so cold you don't want to go out there unless you
don't want to be outside unless you have to. Again, we have all the school closings for you, and I'm sure there'll be more tomorrow morning.
We'll have a complete list at the end. Well, Mark, you know, the baseball owners are not...
Cleveland's own 24-hour newsroom. Tim Taylor, Denise Dufala, Casey Coleman on sports, and Nick Goddard with weather. This is Cleveland's own News Center 8.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Here's what's happening, and this will be a day to tell the grandkids about. All of us have just lived through the coldest day in recorded history here in Northeast Ohio. Last night, records that many thought would never fall fell with the mercury all across the area. Never before, and many are hoping never again, has it been this cold. Officially in Cleveland, the low was 20 below zero, 25 below in Akron and Canton, while other parts of the viewing area watched as the mercury plummeted to over 30 below zero. For a time early this morning, it seemed as if all of Northeast Ohio had frozen to a halt.
And all across Northeast Ohio, schools and businesses closed. Transportation either shut down or failed to even get going. And power outages added fear to the freeze for many. Within the hour, word the cold has even closed down the federal government in Washington, D.C., literally freezing the nation in its tracks. News Center 8's Martin Savage is back out in the cold tonight with more on the date that's bound to go down in frozen infamy. Marty?
Well, Denise, that's exactly right. How often in our lives can we say that we actually witnessed history? But all of us here on the North Coast last night did exactly that. This is going to go down as the date that all other cold will be measured up against. And when you take a look at the numbers, it is easy to see why. For instance, in Cleveland last night, the record low 20 degrees below zero. Akron-Canton came in at 25 degrees below zero. Look at some of the outlying areas, though. Burton came in at 32 degrees below zero. And Possum Run Road, it was 36 degrees below zero. You can bet the possums weren't running there last night. And sure, it's easy to joke about it now, but for all of us, it was no joke last night. We may be on the verge of the 21st century, but overnight, Northeast Ohio was transported back to the Ice Age. The bitter cold affected everything, living or mechanical. In some places, it ground to a halt. Other times, on area roadways, it smashed to a halt. As salt failed, rubber froze, and highways became demolition derbies, forcing many to close. The mechanical casualties littered the landscape, the fate of their drivers a bitter mystery. The Arctic blast knocked out power in many areas, and that meant no heat for thousands.
Police and CEI both suggested that we start draining the pipes and putting antifreeze in and the whole thing in case this lasts a long time.
Which we're trying to avoid
doing. It's pretty cold.
No power meant no trains for commuters, leaving them scrambling for alternatives.
I have an appointment at 10 and the bus broke down, and I'm hoping to get a taxi here soon.
Dreaming is more like it. Taxis were as hard to find as daffodils in our Arctic landscape.
I see a lot of people standing at the rapid and Shaker Square up there, and they tell me the rapid is broke down and everybody come running toward the camp. I had to turn people away.
Local power companies set records for winter consumption. CEI says 3,233,000 kilowatts went down their wires, blowing out the old record set in the winter of '89, and they're expecting another record tonight. To keep the lights and heat on, CEI did have to shut off some of the heavy industrial users, LTV Steel and the Ford and Chevy plants. As one man put it, hell may not have frozen over, but the devil was scraping his windshield. And this is really going to go down as a night that we will remember for the rest of our lives, but there is a tragic footnote. At least 10 people now died as a result of the cold that we've had in our area, and that is something to keep in mind even at this hour, because although it won't be as cold tonight, it is still dangerously cold out here. Reporting live, Martin Savage, News Center 8, downtown.
All right, thank you, Marty. And several of the 10 people died while shoveling snow. Others didn't have enough heat in their homes. News Center 8's Willard Shepard reports area hospitals are busy handling the hundreds either hurt in accidents, on the ice, or overcome by the sub-zero cold.
And he fell in the snow, and I was carrying another baby, so I couldn't get him out real quick. But when I did get him out, his fingers was frozen together. So when I got the bus to my mom's, I called the paramedics and brought him to the hospital. And he had just frostbite.
Little Kareem Carter's frostbite is so severe his hands are blistering and swelling. This afternoon, the hospital's clown came by to cheer him up, and doctors too brought good news. Kareem might need surgery, but won't lose his fingers. On this day we'll all remember, nurses are trying to relieve the pain the bitter cold is dishing out. Brett Thomas found out the hard way, walking in the deep freeze without a hat.
I was outside for about a half an hour, and unfortunately I didn't have a hat on, and got frostbitten there, my nose a little bit. It's pretty numbing, it hurts, you know.
Initially the symptoms may just be pain, tingling, a sense of sharp pain in an extremity. Later on you start to lose sensation in that extremity. So at the first signs, basically pain, you should get inside.
Emergency medical workers have their hands full treating those injured in car accidents, slipping on the ice, and some who just stayed outside too long.
We've had people come with low body temperature, particularly the elderly, hypothermic. The elderly are more prone and susceptible to it.
The key is staying warm, so follow these tips. Dress heavily and in layers. If you feel any tingling in your hands or feet, get inside immediately. And if you have any type of respiratory illness, stay in. Going out could